A New Life in Brighton. Emma was 32 years old. She lived in a small town in the north of England. She worked in a supermarket, and her days were always the same. She woke up, made coffee, went to work, came home, watched TV, and went to bed. Her life was quiet, but something was missing. One evening, Emma looked at the sky. It was gray, and it started to rain. She felt tired. Not just her body, her heart felt tired too. I need something new, she said to herself. The next day, she told her manager, I want to leave. I'm moving to Brighton. Brighton? He asked. Why? I need a change, Emma said with a small smile. So she packed her things, said goodbye to her parents, and took the train to the south coast. Brighton was very different. The sea was blue, the streets were full of people, and music played in small cafes. Emma felt nervous but also free. She rented a small flat near the beach. It had one room, a kitchen, and a small window that showed the sea. It wasn't perfect, but it was hers. In the first week, Emma walked every day. She didn't know anyone. She watched people and listened to the waves. One evening, she sat on the beach with fish and chips in her hand. A woman sat next to her. First time in Brighton? The woman asked. Emma smiled. Number I just moved here. Welcome. I'm Lisa, said the woman. I come here every evening after work. Emma and Lisa talked for an hour. They talked about work, books, love, and life. It felt easy. Lisa was a nurse. She was also 32. They laughed at the same jokes and liked the same music. Soon they met every week, for coffee, for beach walks, for long talks. Emma started to feel better. She found a job in a small bookshop. The owner, Mr. Turner, was kind. We don't sell many books, he said, but we love the ones we have. Emma liked the smell of books. She liked the quiet. Every day she helped people find stories. Some were happy, some were sad, but each book had a heart, just like people. One rainy morning, a man came into the shop. He was tall, with wet hair and a soft voice. Do you have a book about starting over? He asked. Emma thought for a moment. Then she gave him a small red book. This helped me, she said. The man smiled. Thank you. My name is Daniel. He came back 2 days later. The book was good, he said. Do you want to have coffee with me? Emma said yes. They walked along the beach and talked about everything: music, dreams, families, fears. Daniel was an artist. He painted houses, faces, skies. He showed Emma his paintings. They are beautiful, she said, but they look a little sad. Daniel nodded. I was sad. I lost someone. That's why I came here. To start again. Emma didn't ask more. She just listened. Weeks passed. Summer came. Emma now had a new rhythm. She worked at the shop, met Lisa on weekends, and sometimes saw Daniel. She still had quiet days, but they didn't feel empty anymore. One evening, she sat alone by the sea. The sky was orange. The air was soft. She thought about her old life, about the gray town, the supermarket, the silence in her heart. Then she looked at the sea, the people, the soft light. Her life was still simple, but now it felt full. She didn't need big things, not money, not fame. She needed connection, a smile, a friend, a small book, a kind word. Emma stood up and walked home slowly. She passed the cafe where she first met Lisa. She passed the shop with her favorite green dress. She passed Daniel sitting on a bench, drawing the sea. He looked up and smiled. Sit with me? She sat. No words were needed. Sometimes the biggest changes begin with one small decision. Emma didn't know what would come next, but for the first time in many years, she felt ready. She was not lost. She was found. Autumn arrived in Brighton. The air was colder, the sky was gray, and the sea moved with more noise, but Emma didn't mind. She wore a red scarf and long coat now. Every morning, she walked to the bookshop with a warm cup of tea in her hand. Business was slow, but the shop was never empty. There were always people who needed a story. One morning, Mr. Turner came into the shop with a box. "What's this?" Emma asked. "Old letters," he said, "from my grandmother. I found them in the attic." Emma opened the box. The letters were from 1942 during the war. They were full of love and hope. Emma read one aloud. "My dearest love, I wait for your letter each day. The world is dark now, but I believe in light. I believe in us. Yours always." Mary Emma felt her eyes fill with tears. "Let's do something with them," she said. Mr. Turner nodded. "Let's share them." So they made a corner in the shop called Letters from the Past. Every visitor could read a letter and write their thoughts. People came, read, smiled, cried, and left kind notes. One woman wrote, "This letter helped me remember my grandfather. Thank you." A man wrote, "My wife died last year. I read this and didn't feel so alone." Emma felt proud. She was helping people, not with medicine or money, but with words. One afternoon, Daniel came into the shop. He held a small painting. It was the beach, but different. The colors were warmer. The sea was calm. "It's for you," he said. "For me?" "Yes," he smiled. "You helped me paint light again." Emma hung it behind the counter. Now every visitor could see it. That evening, she and Daniel walked by the sea. The wind was strong, but they didn't care. "Do you ever miss your old town?" he asked. "Sometimes," she said, "but I don't miss the feeling of being stuck." He nodded. "I know that feeling." They sat on a bench. A couple passed by, holding hands. A child ran after a dog. The world felt slow and beautiful. "Would you ever leave Brighton?" Emma asked. "Not now," Daniel said. "I'm still healing. This place helps." Emma smiled. "Me too." Winter came. The days were short and the nights were long. The shop now smelled of cinnamon and coffee. Emma brought a small tree and put lights on it. Mr. Turner played old Christmas music. Lisa brought cookies and hot chocolate. They made a small party with friends from the cafe, the bakery, and the art shop. Daniel came with a sketchbook. He drew everyone at the table. The drawings were funny but full of love. That night, Emma sat by her window and watched the snow fall. She thought of her old life, gray mornings, silence, the feeling of waiting for something that never came. Now she wasn't waiting. She was living. In January, Emma got a letter. It was from her younger brother. He lived in London and worked too much. "Emma, I miss you. You sound happy now. I want to visit. Maybe I need a little Brighton too." Emma smiled. A few weeks later, he arrived. He was tired, but his eyes lit up when he saw the sea. She took him to the cafe. Lisa joined. They talked for hours. He laughed more than he had in years. Later, walking on the beach, he said, "You changed." Emma nodded. "Yes, Brighton changed me." In March, Emma had a new idea. She wanted to start a writing group, not for professionals, but for anyone. People who wanted to tell their stories. She made a small sign and put it in the window. "Write with us, Thursdays at 6 p.m. The first evening, only 2 people came, a quiet man with glasses and an older woman with red lipstick. But by the third week, there were 10 people. They read poems, they shared memories, they laughed and cried. Daniel came too. He wrote about color and silence and love. Emma listened to each person. She didn't teach, she only created space. A space for words, for healing, for new beginnings. Spring returned. The sea grew calm again. Flowers appeared in small gardens. Emma opened the window of the shop and let the fresh air in. One morning, Mr. Turner said, "I'm retiring." Emma was surprised. "Really?" "Yes," he smiled. "I'm going to travel with my wife, but I want you to take the shop." "Me?" she asked. "You love stories. You care. You are ready." Emma cried. She didn't expect this, but deep inside she knew it was right. So she took the keys. The bookshop was now hers. She painted the walls, added more chairs, brought in second-hand books, but she kept the red painting and the letter corner. It was still Mr. Turner's shop, but it was also hers now. Emma stood at the door one evening. The sun was low, and golden light touched everything. She saw Lisa in the cafe, Daniel painting in the square, and people smiling through the windows. She breathed in. This was home, not because it was perfect, but because it was real, because she had chosen it, because she had made something with small steps, kind words, and open hands. Life was still full of questions, but now she wasn't afraid of them because she was living the answers one day at a time,